Hi there, Holly here. Today we're going to learn how to read the label on a ball of yarn. So when you have a new project and you're trying to find the right yarn to use for your project, a lot of times you get really excited about the colors and about the texture, and then when you get home and you start making your project, it doesn't actually work out the way you thought it would. And a lot of times that's because you bought the wrong weight yarn. So I'm going to show you how to read a label so that you know that you're getting the right type of yarn for your project. So I bought this ball today. I just got it from Joann's. The name of it is Big Twist Yarns Premium. Don't really care about that so much. The part that I'm really interested in is this down here. So the first thing we want to take notice of is the weight. So this is a size 4. It is medium weight. As the numbers get smaller, the yarn will get smaller as well. As the numbers get bigger, the yarn will get bigger as well. So a medium is kind of like a heavy worsted weight. So if you're looking for that sort of thing, we have a chart at SultryShoebox.com that explains the numbers versus the terminology. So a 4 would be kind of a heavy worsted weight, and then you get into bulky and super bulky as you get bigger, and as you go smaller you get into sport and fingering and baby weight yarns, and then lace weight yarns. So that's the first thing you want to look at. You want to know what size or weight yarn you need to get. And the next thing you want to look at is the content. So this is 100% acrylic, which is essentially plastic, which is great if you need to make like a baby item, something that's really soft, something that can be washed. Acrylic is perfect for that. If you want something a little more luxurious, you could get some wool, or you could get some cashmere, and that will be warmer and more luxurious, but you'll have to hand wash that, and you also will have to, it might be a little itchy, so children don't like to wear that as much. Other options are cotton. Cotton's great if you're trying to do like some dish rags or something. It doesn't drape as well as acrylic or wool does. So if you're trying to make a sweater, it really just depends on the project. But your project should recommend what contents of yarn you want to use. So that's the next thing you want to check. You want to make sure that you have the right content, because if I'm trying to make a really fuzzy warm sweater, I don't necessarily want cotton. And if I'm trying to make a dish rag, wool is not going to be good for a dish rag. So after we check that, another thing that you can look at that'll give you an idea about it is it has these two squares right here. One is for knitting and the other is for crochet. And it tells you approximately what size needles they recommend and how many stitches it would take to make a 4x4 inch square. So when you do your gauge swatch at the beginning of your project, you're supposed to do a 4x4 inch square so that you can measure in the center of it to see how many stitches give you an inch. So this right here says that if you use a US size 9 or a 5.5 millimeter knitting needle, it should take 17 stitches and 23 rows to make a 4x4 inch square, and that's in standard stockinette stitch. Similarly, if you are crocheting, you should use a USI or a 9, a 5.5 millimeter hook, and it should take 12 single crochets and 13 rows of them to give you a 4x4 inch square. Just because the label says that those are the recommended sizes doesn't mean that you have to use those sizes. I tend to knit and crochet loosely, so I have to go down a needle size typically. As you get more acquainted and as you make more projects, you'll learn what your tension is like and what your gauge is like, so you'll be able to predict what size needle you need for the type of yarn and the type of project you are doing. So that is how to read a label. Have a great day, and check out SultryShoebox.com for more tutorials and lessons. Thanks, bye!